and welcome to the first episode of The Brothers Hunt. Now, just to give you a bit of a rundown, The Brothers Hunt is a little series where two people, one of which is a huge F1 fan, one of which is a reasonably new F1 fan, give their thoughts and opinions on various parts of F1 in itself. I'm Christopher Hunt.
I'm Alex.
And today we're going to be discussing the top 5 F1 games. Now, since pole position in 1983, F1 games have been around for ages, but back in the day, they weren't licensed by the FIA, which meant you had some classic games like Ayrton Senna's Super Monaco GP, and of course the hair-raising classic, Nigel Mansell's World Championship. Now, it wasn't until 1996 with the release of Formula 1 on the PS1 that we actually had FIA licensed games, and these are the games we're going to be discussing. We have 5 games each, we have a dishonourable mention, and we might as well kick off. Alex, your dishonourable mention.
It's going to be F1 98.
F1 98, oh, of course.
I'm afraid it is, well, being a sequel to F1 97, which was such a good game, F1 98 was a disappointment in every way. Graphics, playability, and you get to unlock a Colosseum race, which was useless.
I remember that. I remember you showing me one time when we were younger, and I was...
Yeah.
I was confused. I don't really get it. I don't really understand
Where
why.
do I go? I didn't
However, I did like the menu music. Menu music was good.
Yes, but then you could say that about most games.
Good. Now, actually, it's interesting that we started off the series agreeing with something. My dishonourable mention was Formula 1 2009 on the Nintendo Wii. My God, was that poor. Basically, it was like Mario Kart, but trying to be serious. Remember that little plastic wheel you got?
Yes, okay.
Now, of course, because it's floating in the air, you can't really base what you're turning on, and it was hypersensitive, which means going into like Eau Rouge or something, you do a little turn, whoa, collision, end of the race. So,
I would also suggest that F1 97 had better graphics.
yes, well, actually, interesting you mentioned F1 97 because that was one of the first games we ever owned.
That was the first game we ever
Christmas morning, remember that very clearly.
I do.
Good. Right, so now let's go on to actually our favourite games, the ones that we like. Let's kick off with Alex's number 5.
I've gone with F1 04.
F1 2004. Is that the we make the sounds of the satellites?
No, but we'll come on to that later.
Okay, cool.
F1 04 is good. It's a good game.
Yeah.
But the reason I've chosen it is because it was the first one with the career mode.
Oh, but when you get the emails, you go Jordan, Minardi, or Spiker? Toyota. Yeah, I was thinking red and white cars.
Yeah, it's Toyota, and you do a test drive in one of their generic cars, and you get a contract from one of them. And if you are bad in your career, you don't get bumped down to Williams. You become a test driver.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah, I remember the first test was in Spain, wasn't it, Catalonia?
Yes, it was.
Yes, I remember that because back in the day when I wasn't really a big F1 fan, that was one of the games I managed to play for it. Actually, that was actually quite fun.
It was.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. The handling is questionable. But it's more the concept of the game that led it on for the next.
Wasn't a fan of the motion blur when you go very fast and it all goes fuzzy around the edges. Yes, this is going to be a bit controversial.
Your number
especially
5,
for you.
I believe.
F1 1997. Now,
That's your number 5.
that's my number 5. Yes, F1 97 was a classic game. It was the first one that took F1 into new territories. F1 96, or just Formula 1, released in 1996, was good. But it had some creases to iron out, and Formula 1 97 did that beautifully. Great commentary, fantastic cheats.
You're right there, Murray.
You're right there, Murray. What a Tom Chilton quote. Yes, you're right there, Murray, of course. And it was, I think, one of the first critically acclaimed F1 games. The first one that actually got people's attention.
Yes, it was a particularly successful game, from my understanding, and was a very good game.
The only competition
stood the test of time.
Yeah, it's still fun to play now, although the grass is very slippy.
Yes,
As soon as you get on the grass, whee!
but you do get to name any driver what you want.
You do, yes.
You can change their name.
It's Williams number 1. And also, the only competition I had at the time was the F1 World Championship on the N64, which I've owned since and didn't really stand up well. It was a good game in itself, but compared to F1 97, nah. Right, number 4.
I've gone with F1 2016.
Oh, okay.
Much for the same.
The one with Lewis Hamilton's weird face on the cover.
Yes, yes, it's Sergio Perez going.
I'm a champion, me. Oh yeah, Perez was on it,
He was
wasn't he?
gurning. Yeah, it was really weird. Yes, that was.
Isn't that all the serious faces and you got Daniel Ricciardo at the back?
Yeah, it was a particularly good game to have after F1 2015, which was rather disappointing.
Not
without
even a safety car.
Yeah,
That was close to being a dishonourable mention, honestly. If it wasn't for the fact it was the
far.
first next gen, it was pretty disappointing.
But 2016 has the new career mode. You can upgrade your car in career mode.
Yep.
And the graphics were good, the gameplay was good, and
Fair play.
I can't really fault the game.
That's a solid shout, actually. I appreciate that. No, fair play.
What's yours?
My number 4, F1 Championship Edition on the PlayStation 3. Now, bizarrely, I didn't play that game until a couple of years ago, even though it came out in 2006. 7. And even though I was playing it on a older console, I had a great time with it. The graphics still were fantastic. It was nice to go back and play old cars. But actually the way the game was set up was just nice. It was refreshing in comparison to the Codemasters kind of similarity we've been going through for the last couple of years. And it was it Codemasters or Studio Liverpool or something? Studio Liverpool, yeah. And actually, yeah, I'm surprised how well the game's held up.
And that one was the sound of the satellite.
Yeah,
Jagger 67.
Jagger 67, yeah. Also the TV graphics, well, you know, you had the tachometer, where it goes, it leaves a little red mark.
Yeah.
The amount of times I crashed because I was trying to get above that.
Yeah, trying to get the 18,000 reps.
Exactly. Now, number 3, the podium positions. What's the Daniel Kvyat of your F1 games? Gosh, that's going to take this video.
Yes, it will. It ties in well nicely, it's F106.
Oh!
Because I would have put Championship Edition F106 as the same game. Because the only difference is the graphics.
But if you had to pick which one would you pick?
Oh, F106.
Oh, really? Over Championship Edition?
Yes, because I had played F106 constantly from 2006 to 2010 because that was the only game on the PlayStation.
Yes, that's a good. We did go through a bit of a drought, didn't we? But was that when
It was 4 years.
He's not gotten over it yet, guys. Was that when you had the Williams racing wheel?
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
and pedals.
And pedals
Don't
too.
forget the pedals.
Don't forget the pedals. Right.
But yes, it was a very good game, and it was a tough game. It was very difficult to get right, which was part of the challenge and why I enjoyed it quite.
Also had weird motion blur too. Remember you had on the steering wheel, you had the massive gear number, didn't you?
Yeah, the massive gear number, and the helmet of the driver you were became bigger whenever the faster you went.
Inflating.
Essentially, it just seems to get bigger. It's really odd.
Yeah, no, I guess
I didn't really care in the end.
Yeah, back then they're trying to look graphically cool as opposed to realistic, weren't they?
Yeah.
Fair play. Right, my number 3, F1 2011. This was the first game I started playing seriously, like doing a huge career mode, all this sort of thing. And also, I remember it fondly for the multiplayer championship we did. That was always good.
Oh my word, we never really finished that.
No, we never finished it. I've still got the Excel spreadsheet because I was Felipe Massa and you were Fernando Alonso.
Yep.
Now, of course, after most of the races
I was faster than you.
I did move over. Now, just to give you an insight though, even though the multiplayer was good, the first 10 minutes of each race would be I crash, start again. I crash, start again. You crashed into me, I start again. That sort of thing. So, still great fun though, and the career mode was done nicely. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I would suggest.
And safety car.
The handling mode wasn't stunning.
Bit arcadish.
Yes.
But yeah, that was the year
a bit too easy to drive.
Yes, a bit.
You could win in an HRT.
Yes. Well, Daniel Ricciardo first came in that year.
Yes, he did. So was
yeah, we were there. That's the thing. I didn't get into F1 until 2011, and that kind of coincides with it, really. You're number 2.
F1 97.
Oh, I knew you were going to put it high up. I didn't know if you put it number 1.
Because it's just that good a game, and it was the first game. It was the one I played a lot when I was 7 or 8.
Are you
just
currently
sticks in the mind.
Are you in possession of some rose-tinted spectacles at the moment?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
At no point is this an objective.
Oh yeah,
this is subjective all the way. But yeah, it's just lovely.
Yeah,
and it's the tracks you get to go to Argentina, Imola, Estoril, Jerez.
We got Adelaide as well, didn't you?
You got Adelaide.
Unlockable. You had 1950 Silverstone.
Yeah, it's 50 Silverstone. The Adelaide was backwards.
Yes, why?
Just to be different. Because they could. Because they had Adelaide from the previous game. So they had Sunov as well, which is bonus backwards, which was a weird.
Oh yes, Sunov.
Sunov, yeah.
Yeah, and we had also the multiplayer was good on that too.
Yes,
I remember Formula 1 on the 96. It was multiplayer, but on one screen. So you had to stay side by side, otherwise you lost it.
If you're too quick, I can't keep up.
Yeah. Cool. My number 2, F1 2013.
I know why, but that's not what I was expecting.
Because Murray Walker's in it. That's the only reason. Moving on. Now, F1 2013 was the first time that I was getting a bit tired of F1 games because F1 2012 was pretty similar to 2011. A few changes here and there which were good. But 2013 then introduced the classic cars.
Yes.
Wow. And also this
tracks.
Classic tracks, classic cars, Brands Hatch, and also it had a really good scenario mode, both for modern cars and old cars. True. And I quite like a scenario mode because you can just pop in and have a bit of fun. You don't have to do a career mode the entire time. And the classic cars were good. They were done well. Classic drivers, even though
some of the drivers ended up in places they really shouldn't.
Yes. And you had the really slow Saudi Williams, I believe.
Oh yes, the old one.
Yes. Anyway, Alex, what is your favourite F1 game of all time?
You're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. It's F1 2012.
Why?
Because I loved it. It was brilliant. The career mode was good. You had the ability to go to teams. The handling mode was pretty much perfect for a PS3 game.
I'll give you something.
The champions mode was good to do scenarios as each.
Well, there's
champions on the grid at the time.
6 champions or 7?
I think it was 7, wasn't it? Well, you had Hamilton, Button, Schumacher, Alonso, Raikkonen. Was it 5? Must have been 5.
We shall edit in the correct answer. Good.
Look here.
Something I did like was the young driver test.
Yes.
Just as kind of a starting point.
Yeah.
Oh, Caterham as well.
Caterham, HRT.
HRT.
The good-looking HRT. None of this trying to be fancy.
Yes, the
rubbish.
weird. You could be here, wasn't it? Something like that.
Something weird.
Yeah.
But it was a nice-looking car.
Yeah.
Marussia. By that point.
Yes, it's before Manor, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, no, I'll give you. It was a good game. I felt a little underwhelmed at the end of 2012. But as you kind of said, it did all the things really well.
It did everything brilliant. The handling mode was much better than 2011.
Yep.
And it was a challenge.
Yeah, fair play. Okay, I can understand that.
Nice. What's your number 1?
You're going to love me for this.
Oh, good God.
Now, this is again based entirely on rose-tinted spectacles. F1 2010. F1 2010.
Okay, I can see that.
Let me defend.
Yes, go for it.
Now, F1 2010, as I said, 2011 was when I was really getting into F1, but 2010 was the first F1 game I had. And basically, when I played F1 games in the past, it was going around in circles, great, blah, blah, blah. This had a career mode, and that really sucked me in. I don't think the career mode's been done as well since then. Doing interviews, having all of that, I don't know why it really grasped me.
It isn't as immersive. It's never been as immersive as that because you've got Holly Samos in a press conference asking you questions, and you're looking at all the journeys.
Exactly, and also
it's quite good.
The way the main menu changes from every single racetrack, I love that.
Yes.
You know, I can see in Singapore it has fireworks going off. I absolutely loved it. Obviously, it was missing a safety car, which is a pretty heinous crime. The handling, some would say, was a little bit arcade-ish again.
I'd just go with boat-like. It was very wallowy.
Yeah, but even and also special features, you could go in and read up all these things about the different drivers, their best results.
Yes,
it was a game that had care put into it, I think. And actually, because it's the first game that came back after a long hiatus.
4 years!
I think most people were pleasantly surprised. How did
I
you feel when you
was.
first played it?
I loved it. It was a brilliant game.
Yeah,
it's just there are other games I prefer more.
Since. Yeah, fair play. And also, it's weirdly the game I find myself going back to most.
Oh.
If I ever get the Xbox out again, now PlayStation. If you ever get the Xbox back out, it's always F1 2010 for some reason. I'm not really sure why.
In 10 years' time, we'll have all the historic games, so we can.
God, it's nearly 10 years already. That's depressing. Now, I'm going to propose to you. I'm going to propose to you my secret answer.
Your secret? Hang on, explain this.
This is an FIA licensed game. This is a game we've played a lot of. This is Formula 1 Race Stars. What did you think of Formula 1 Race Stars, Alex? How good was that?
How is this in this
video? You had the cartoony characters.
It was great fun, but it's Crash Team Racing with weird drivers' heads.
Tell me you've never wanted to play as Paul di Resta blowing up Nico Rosberg with missiles and Silverstone. Isn't it classic?
Oh, it's entirely hilarious. There is no doubt it's hilarious, but how the heck?
What? You know what? Huge wasted point. If they'd actually made the real tracks but like cartoonified them, what a great way to get new audiences in. Get younger kids playing it, then they would have already known the tracks before going on to the next games. But basically, what we're trying to say is we both agree that F1 Race Stars is the greatest game of all time. Not just F1, greatest game.
Hang on. Whoa.
Thank you for watching our video. I've been Chris.
I've been Alex.
And we'll see you very soon. Goodbye.
Please like us. Subscribe as well.
Please like us.